Liverpool sack Arne Slot, and his replacement is already lined up. Florentino Perez is reportedly engineering a mega deal with Chelsea, while Manchester United have completed their first signing of the summer. And Ibrahima Konaté, he's on his way out of Anfield. All this and much more in today's episode. Before we get into the news, do me a quick favor and hit that like button. It's the single most important thing you can do to help this channel grow and keep these videos coming. Done? Let's dive straight in. Chelsea are rotting in 10th place. European football is something they only see in nightmares, and their squad resembles a very expensive skip. Yet Real Madrid are back for seconds. The target, Enzo Fernandez. Why on earth does the most bloated midfield in world football need yet another midfielder? Apparently, Florentino Perez won't rest until he's collected the lot. According to Team Talk, the Spanish giants have cooked up something truly creative. Chelsea are demanding 120 million quid for the Argentine, the kind of number that makes even hardened boardroom types develop a nervous twitch. Everyone involved knows that paying that in straight cash for a player whose club can't even sniff a top 6 finish is, frankly, embarrassing. So, swap talks, it is. The idea, stripped back. Madrid give theirs to get yours. The names floating towards London, Tchouaméni and Camavinga. Let that sink in. Trading 2 established elite players for a bloke remembered more for his price tag than anything he's actually done on a pitch. For Chelsea though, it's a genuine chance to get some discipline into that dressing room, instead of just hoarding expensive trading cards. The real question is whether Xabi Alonso signs off on it. He needs players who deliver right now, not more assets with potential. And Enzo himself? Word is, the bags are already packed. The Madrid sunshine clearly beats another grey London Tuesday with no Champions League football. So here's the funny maths. Chelsea are trying to save face, and Real Madrid are pretending Fernandez was the one missing piece all along. Football confuses a player's actual worth with his market price far too often. We'll see who comes out looking clever in this one. Though, honestly, it's not hard to guess. Arne Slot has learned the hard way just how quickly winning the Premier League at Anfield turns from a celebration into a P45. One year you're lifting the trophy, the next you're clearing your desk, because 5th place and an empty trophy cabinet is treated as a personal insult. 12 defeats in a season isn't a blip, it's a full derailment. Liverpool's football under Slot started to resemble a slow dance at a funeral, predictable, joyless, and utterly drained of the intensity that once made them terrifying. The club didn't hang about. While the Dutchman was handing back his keys, Fabrizio Romano had already dropped his trademark scoop. Andoni Iraola is the man. The appointment makes perfect sense once you know who's pulling the strings upstairs. Sporting director Richard Hughes simply reached into his contacts and rang a familiar name. At Bournemouth, Iraola proved he can squeeze results out of a side that gets stripped to the bones every summer. 6th place and European football for the Cherries? That's practically a miracle. But Liverpool aren't a cozy South Coast club who'll forgive you a stumble in exchange for attractive football. What's needed is a return to that relentless vertical aggression that somehow went missing this past year. Not just pressing with energy. The club are changing direction and banking on the Spaniard to make their expensive new signings actually run like their lives depend on it. Now, if you've watched this far and still haven't hit the like button, I've got a special spot reserved for you in my own personal meat grinder. Get involved! I'm starting to think my content's as sluggish as that funeral I just mentioned. Wake up and smash the like button. The burning question: will Iraola carry any weight in that dressing room? Overachieving with Bournemouth is one thing. Living up to Anfield standards, where even a Premier League title buys you about 12 months of goodwill, is something else entirely. The stakes are set. Welcome to the meat grinder, Senor Iraola. Let's see how long the optimism lasts. It seems Manchester City have reached that particular moment when yesterday's heroes quietly become lots in an auction. Tijani Reinders, a man who cost nearly 50 million, won 2 trophies, and played 47 matches, has found himself unexpectedly in the wobble zone. One solid debut season, and already he's the subject of exploratory interest. Lovely. According to the Daily Mail, Atletico Madrid are already sniffing around. Simeone wants players who give him bursts and craft, not squad fillers who tick boxes on a team sheet. For Reinders, that's a warning shot. City are going through a full-scale overhaul under Enzo Maresca, and past contributions don't carry much currency in this new system. When your club starts eyeing talent from Nottingham Forest while you're already at the club, you'd be right to feel a chill. The real decision now sits with the player himself. Does he stay as a cog in a machine that can spit him out the moment he loses his starting spot? Or does he become the central figure in Madrid? City have never been sentimental about players who haven't made themselves untouchable within 12 months. It's starting to look like they bought him for one idea and are now frantically trying to work out where he fits in the next one. If City keep dithering, Reinders will simply leave for somewhere that values his craft over spreadsheets and endless tactical experiments. In football, at this level, the love evaporates quickly, especially when a full squad clear-out is looming on the horizon. Business, nothing personal. Back in April, Ibrahima Konaté was declaring undying loyalty to Liverpool and practically pen in hand on a new deal. Now we're watching him pack his bags. The Frenchman is walking out the door for free. And that might just be the most catastrophic bit of man management at Merseyside in years. L'Équipe confirm it. Talks haven't just stalled, they're dead and buried. What went wrong at a club that spent a fortune building a squad and ended up with a fractured dressing room and a broken season? The internal politics did their damage. When a project starts crumbling, even the most committed players start eyeing the exit. Konaté is 27, and at the very peak of his powers, he's not about to grind out the rest of his career in the middle of an endless rebuild. Not when Real Madrid and Chelsea are already breathing down his neck. In Madrid, they're barely hiding their delight. Perez loves nothing more than picking up elite players for nothing. Given Militao's injury record and Alaba's departure, Konaté isn't just a rotation option for the Bernabeu. He's a lifeline. A free, elite centre-half with the physique of a lorry and frightening pace. Sounds like another one of Perez's perfect heists. Meanwhile, Chelsea are also in the running, where Xabi Alonso is trying to build something coherent out of an expensive but incoherent collection of talent. He needs a leader, someone who can pass it and doesn't panic. Konaté fits perfectly. But will Ibrahima choose more uncertainty when the Bernabeu is on the table? In the space of a year, Liverpool have gone from the gold standard of stability to a free feeder club for their rivals. Quite the self-destruction. Konaté's simply leaving at the right time. Manchester United do love the smell of someone else's disaster. West Ham are officially on their way down to the Championship, and the Red Devils are already picking through the wreckage for a bargain. The main target, Matheus Fernandes. A player who was worth 80 million not long ago, now suddenly available at a very reasonable 50. Funny how that works. The club is sinking, but the player stock only goes up. You just don't have to remortgage the stadium to get him anymore. iPaper report that a formal offer is coming within weeks. The logic from Michael Carrick's side is straightforward enough. Pay 100 million for Elliot Anderson from Nottingham? That's not ambition. That's a medical condition. 50 million for Fernandes, by comparison, looks like daylight robbery. West Ham, cornered by the financial reality of the second tier, won't be able to hold on for long. Classic situation. When your asset desperately wants to stay in the top flight, you either sell now or watch him go stale on a Tuesday night trip to Preston. And then there's Bruno Fernandes, who's apparently gone full moonlighting agent. Speaking of which, I can see plenty of you watching in stealth mode. If Bruno's playing agent, so can you. Subscribe, hit the bell, full engagement, don't miss new episodes. Otherwise, what kind of algorithm asset are you? Really? Let's get it. Anyway, word is, the skipper is absolutely raving about his compatriot and bending the board's ear on his behalf. When the dressing room leader's this enthusiastic, it carries weight. Carrick needs a functional piece for his system, not another vague talent who turns up and wanders about. Young, technically sharp, hungry. That's the profile you need in a setup that's finally run out of patience for passengers. The only real question is whether this sensible transfer can handle the weight of Old Trafford. Shining in a relegated West Ham is one thing, plugging gaps in the Champions League is a completely different ask. 50 million sounds reasonable right up until the first bad pass. Then comes the usual chorus about overpaying. But if this one comes together, we might witness something genuinely rare. United buying a player for football reasons, rather than for the headline. Everyone wins in this deal, apart from the West Ham fans. Obviously,